Alrighty folks, I want to talk to you about the Clipper Creek Electric Charging Station Level 2. Now they have actually gone through a name change, so I believe they're not called Clipper Creek anymore. I believe they have a new name, but I do want to talk to you about this Level 2 charging station, which for my little Fiat 500, E500 I should say, it did absolutely fantastic. So much better than your granny charger, 120 Level 1. Level 2, this thing did a fantastic job. So let me talk about it. Obviously, I do wish I had my electric vehicle right here in front of me, but I moved. I do want to give you a little heads up on it. So anyway, this is the older model. They've come out with a newer model. Number one, super thick cord, never overheated on me, wasn't worried about any of overages or protection or anything like that. This particular one, let me flip it over. Let me get that for you right there. NEMA 14-50PYP-75L. And again, it looks like this. 3 straight prongs and a regular one like this. So I installed this at my home and I actually had a disconnect. It was super easy to connect, but I did have to pull off a 220 that was made for welding. And I said, well, I'm going to be using this a lot more than I am a welder. So it was so simple because I already had the 220 welding. I literally cut the breaker, made sure power was off, just like a normal outlet, uninstalled it and installed the one that matches this plug. I think I bought it on Amazon for like 20 bucks or something like that. So this would be the same exact thing. This is on my car lift. This is not the precise one. So you would go to your breaker box, you would flip it off, checking with a multimeter, obviously to make sure there's no power to it, and then literally taking this off, unwiring it. Again, triple check if you have to make sure there's no electricity because you're messing around with 220, be careful. And then uninstalling it and putting the correct one in for the Clipper Creek. It was super easy. Again, if you know how to do regular outlets, this is no different. And then all you do is you mount it, you plug that plug in, and the way I had it arranged was literally it was just like this right above the outlet. So the outlet was plugged in because that cord length is kind of small. It goes from where my finger is down to the outlet. So I wanted it really streamlined. So it literally plugged in and I made the outlet upside down so that the plug could plug in so it could go straight up like that, if that makes sense. And then I wrapped around the cord, which is a long cord, by the way, and that stretched underneath my garage door. So the garage door came down on this. It didn't smash it or anything like that. There was a little bit of wiggle room so that I didn't have to leave my garage door open while it was charging outside because there was so much stuff inside the garage. I literally couldn't park my little small golf cart. E500 Fiat is like a golf cart, but this gave me a lot of charge very quickly as well. It's not obviously super fast if you're used to like a supercharger or something like that, but a level 2 definitely gives you enough juice in between errands if you have a couple hours. But I would go to bed late, wake up fully charged, obviously just walk outside, unplug it. And I thought this was really cool. This came with it, a little holster right here. You mount your 2 bolts in right there and with your little push button here. And so all it does is you just slip it in and it clicks in to your little holster. So I had that next to the workbench and it was pretty cool. After you're done, you just come inside and click that back in. So you got your little push button right here, which is your release right here. And then coming around to the front of it, obviously just like a normal charger. If you're using it on a Tesla, you'll have to use the adapter, and very simple little level 2 charging device. Very small as well. Let me go ahead and put my hand up to it here. As you can see, obviously the link in the description box below will have this not this exact same one, but the upgraded one to this. They do offer a couple different models if you want a little bit more juice. Now, this particular one at the time of their older model was the HSC-40P. And again, the plug type is a NEMA 14-50P. And there's your outputs right there. You guys can pause that if you want to right there. Output's going to be 208 to 240, 32 amps continuous right there. It is J1772 compliant type 4 enclosure. Again, you guys can go ahead and pause that once again, and you can read that a little bit better right there. So whatever device you go with, make sure that you do the proper research on the plug. So at my house now, this is my breaker box right here, and the previous owner has a lot of interesting stickers on there. I had actually pulled one down just a second ago. So here's your breaker box, obviously. So an electrician's going to come in, and if you have exposed beams like this garage does, this shop does, you could just go through the studs if you want, if you're installing it yourself and you watch DIY videos, or you put it in conduit like this here. You bend the pipes and you run it to wherever you need to park your car. car, and you run the conduit, and then you put in your 220 outlet instead of 120 right here, which my dad and I, we actually switched out that particular one for my table saw, which is right below me right here. But the previous owner was a welder as well, so he has some 220s around. So when I do, God willing, get my Tesla, I will simply do exactly what I've stated in this video and put in the proper plug right here. Now, Clipper Creek does offer this one as well. This one's not going to be as beefy, same type of plug, not as long of a wiring, I don't think, but it has the same exact plug on the bottom. Actually, it does. It has a different plug on the bottom, and this one is only 3.8 kilowatts. And they're calling this one the Amazing E, but again, this might be the older model as well. This particular one came in actually in a bag, and this is a NEMA 14-30P plug, so it's a little bit different with that little hook on the bottom one, as you can see. So this would not fit in the same outlet as that one there. So do be careful. Again, do your research on the type of plugs and how easy they are to install. And this one is really good for, especially, let's say, my parents, your brother, siblings, friends. So when I lived in California, my friend had a 220 plug, and there were a couple times where I literally plugged in my 220 for fast charging because the Fiat doesn't have that much range. So there were times literally I brought this over because it was the same plug, and I plugged in juicing level 2 220 at his house. Absolutely fantastic. And let me get you a little bit better of a shot. So the cord management goes around the whole unit here, and then you have a mounting hole right here. And sorry, my shop floor is a little dirty, but you have a mounting hole here. You just go into a stud with a normal bolt because this unit's very light, and then you have one down at the bottom as well. It is a little tricky. You do have to be a little bit careful with your placements. So what I would do is I would hang it like a picture frame. I would put your bolts in the studs, lining up perfectly, and then slip it on like a picture frame, because I don't know if you're going to get a screwdriver in between that to be able to tighten that bolt in, or an impact wrench, etc. So again, install it inside the stud first, and then slip the screw in like a picture frame would be the easiest application in my point. You do have some LED lights on here when it is charging, power fault, charging fault, and power here. I never had any issues with the power fault or charging fault. So overall, anyway, what I'm getting at with all this is the Clipper Creek has been a great charging station for myself, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Even though this is, again, an older model, it has held up great. It is very quiet. It has like one small click, I think, when you plug in, one small click when you take it out. The device actually clicks like the computer inside or whatever it is. Other than that, it's not loud. It doesn't really hum at all. It's just very quiet electric charger. Overall, it's been a thumbs up for me. Again, top link in the description box below will be the upgraded models of this particular one, and a couple different ones I will list, as well as the traveling 220 over here to my left as well. Just like all my videos, please don't go into debt though for anything I do make a video about, but if you do have the cash and it does intrigue you, please go ahead and purchase on away. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button on the way out, it helps the channel. Also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, as well as tech related videos and more. DIY house projects also. So again, top link in the description box below will be your chargers. I will see you on the next video. My name's Chris. Take care for now. Bye-bye.